Welcome to another episode of Viator Voices Conversations on the Way. This is Pre-Associate Dan Masterton from Vocation Ministry, here to introduce this episode. Today we'll hear a Sunday homily from Viatorian priest Father Larry Lentz, CSV. Father Larry is the parochial assistant at St. Viator Catholic Community in Las Vegas, Nevada. He grew up in Springfield, Illinois, where he was taught by Viatorians at Griffin High School. He professed first vows in 1964 and was ordained a priest in 1981. After years as a teacher and administrator at St. Viator High School in Arlington Heights, Illinois, Father Larry served at Viatorian parishes in Chicago and Bourbonnais, Illinois, before heading out to Las Vegas to serve at the cathedral and now at St. Viator. Here we listen in on Sunday Mass at St. Viator, where Father Larry proclaims the gospel for the 11th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and then preaches his homily, reflecting largely on vocations and the part we all have to play in helping people identify God's invitation to religious life and priesthood. Enjoy.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At the sight of the crowds, Jesus' heart moved with pity for them, because they were troubled and abandoned, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So ask the master of the harvest to send out laborers for his harvest." Then he summoned the 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits, to drive them out and to cure every disease and every illness. Now the names of the 12 apostles are these. First, Simon, called Peter, and his brother Andrew. There was James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John. Then Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus and Thaddeus, and Simon from Cana, and of course Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. Jesus sent out these 12 after instructing them thus: "Do not go into pagan territory or enter a Samaritan town. Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, make this proclamation: the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse lepers, and drive out demons. Without cost you have received. Without cost you are to give." The Gospel of the Lord. Hearing the gospel this evening raises at least 3 serious questions. What is this harvest that Jesus speaks of? And who are these workers that Jesus references? And why are there fewer workers today than before? Now, I think for most of us, the first 2 questions have ready answers. We know what the harvest is. We know what the workers are. But the last question, Why are there fewer workers today than before? That, I think, becomes more provocative. Many individuals seem to suggest that prayer for vocations to the priesthood or to the religious life is almost extinct today. Very few claim to regularly pray to God to touch the hearts of young people to be open to ministry in the church. Families are no longer seed beds for religious life as they once were. Generally speaking, parents do not talk to their children about church ministry as a possible life choice. Priesthood, religious life, doesn't seem to be as valuable in today's society as it used to be. Today, it's my son, the doctor. My daughter, the lawyer. But rarely, if ever, is it my child who ministers within the church. I think also, realistically, there are fewer workers in the vineyard today because we lack good press, some of which is our own doing. A vocation to religious life is difficult enough without certain few people giving the rest of us a rather tarnished image. Today's gospel message was clearly a challenge to the disciples, but it also gave them direction for their mission and their ministry. In the same way, ministry within the church today is a challenge for us as well. So what's the solution? Each one of us, in our own way and in our own time, is called to be a laborer in God's vineyard. Both religious men and women, and lay women and men, all of us are called to discipleship. And I think it's interesting for us to note that while there may be fewer official laborers in the vineyard today, there are actually many, many, many more opportunities, especially for lay women and men, to minister within church today than there ever was before. We are all called to discipleship. What you do, how you do it, that will vary, and that's okay. You don't all have to be priests or religious, but we all have to serve as best we can to build up this kingdom here on earth now, so that we can all share in the kingdom that is to come. Together, we are the church. Not me, not this building. You are the church. You are the people of God. You are the builders of the kingdom today. So the simple question at the end of all of this is, what can you do to make a difference? Jesus tells the disciples tonight, without cost, you have received much. And without cost, you are to give in return. Therein lies the good news tonight. That clearly is our challenge, because it is the gospel of the Lord.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you to Father Larry for his continued ministry, and a special thanks to Associate Anthony Gugino, who leads music ministry at St. Viator and shared this recording from Mass with us. You can learn more about our parish in Las Vegas by visiting stviator.org. That's stviator.org. To learn more about the Viatorians or invite vocational accompaniment, email us at vocations@viatorians.com or DM us on social media at ViatorianUSA. On behalf of Brother Peter and the Viatorian community, I'm Pre-Associate Dan Masterton. Venerable Louis Curbs, inspire us. St. Viator, pray for us. Adored and loved be Jesus.